fall camps, my fourth time being a head coach and having to be day one. These guys are just way further along than, they just understand what we're asking them to do. And the staff has done a great job.
I like the fact that the young men are starting to take on the identity of what we want to do, right? That's the most important thing. We want to play with Husker speed and we want to have dominant contact. And you see elements of it showing up on all three levels, from the D-line to the linebackers to the secondary guys.
I think most of our young people these days are dying from the disease of low expectations. We make excuses for young people. Young people will rise and meet expectations if you hold them to that.
They attack every single moment, every play, every day, every week. It's all the same. And that's where I'm just trying to get the mindset to. Just attack everything. Whatever's in front of me, I attack it.
And I think they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. You know what I'm saying? As I said to them, all we're trying to do is earn the right to walk into Minnesota with confidence.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Severe, and welcome to Big Red Wrap-Up on Nebraska Public Media. Also, welcome to the 124th season of Nebraska Cornhusker football. Joining me tonight, of course, former Huskers Jay Moore and Damon Benning. What's the feeling like? Are you guys, I know obviously you're not playing, but we're 2 days away from the start of a season with the new coaching staff. What's the feeling like?
I've been saying it since Rule got here. I think I'm very cautiously optimistic. I'm excited.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get my hopes up too high because obviously we've been burned in the past few years, but there's things to be excited about, but there's also things to be concerned about too. But I think that's a healthy way to look at it so far.
Yeah, well, I'm the epitome of unhealthy. I am. I'm all in. He just hits the benchmarks of what I like. I think I don't just like him because we think alike. I just think I like him because his plan is clear cut. Mm-hmm. I love the common language. I like the fact that he's consistent in his message. And I have no idea how it will manifest itself in terms of wins and losses. I just know the consistency and model leadership from his standpoint is so refreshing. I'm willing to get burned.
Yeah, we'll have more to talk about that, of course. We have lots to get to tonight. We want to hear from you. You can text or email us your comments, your questions at bigred@nebraskapublicmedia.org. We're monitoring our social media accounts as well, so send your thoughts. Big Red Wrap-Up social media channels, and we will answer as many of your questions as we can tonight. Also, don't forget to head over to our website and download your copy of the 2023 Nebraska football schedule poster. You can print those off for your home or your office. Keep up to date what's going on throughout the year, hopefully with a few more wins in the last few years on there as well. There's also our sideline survey. It's back and ready for your vote as well. What are you looking forward to the most this season? Is it the new coaching staff, transfer portal and additions, Tony White's 3-3-5 defense, the young freshman talent on the team, or simply just the hope of a winning season? Head to our website now to vote and head back each week for a brand new survey. Damon, you said something about common language. Mm-hmm. And, I love sayings. I'm a big fan of it. Being in the military, everything is a saying. You remember it because of the saying. He said Tuesday, Wednesday, it's about being physical. He said Thursday, it's about being intentional, and Friday's fast. I don't know what it is about that. I just love it. I love when they say stuff like that. He's got lots of them.
Yeah, when it comes to, the thing that I like about common language is it builds in accountability, right? Because it's got natural benchmarks in there, because if everybody kind of thinks the same and talks the same, it's easy to correct on the fly. And it's good for exhortation too, right? If I want to tell you, hey, good job, it's in conjunction with what that common language is. And I just think it builds in discipline. You don't get mixed messages, right? The players sound like the coaches. Each coach sounds like the last coach. And if there's a desired outcome out there, you have to be intentional.
Yep.
And specific common language makes the outcome intentional. You don't just luck into things by hoping and wishing. You have to be direct and intentional. And I love his delivery.
Yeah, all the sayings and in terminology he uses, I agree. You have to be direct. It needs to be intentional. It has to be clear. It has to be concise. And I think in this day and age, it's so easy for young student athletes to feel sorry for yourself, right? And always look for an easy way out. And I think you saw that. I think just in, if you want to call it the Nebraska Hard Knocks that we've seen, the 3 episodes where he stopped practice and he's like, okay, here's my starters. What happens when so-and-so graduates? Who's up? So I think it's in just getting across to people, it's okay to redshirt. It's okay to not be successful in year one. It's okay to not be at a starting corner your freshman year or starting left tackle. There's a process to it because it's so easy, especially nowadays with the transfer portal, to always see the grass is always greener.
Yeah.
But it's also, look, just because it's not handed to you day one doesn't mean you're not going to be in the situation you're going to be. Trust it.
Yeah.
Build on it. Go through some struggles. Go through some growing pains. It's going to make you better in the end, and not always looking for the easy way out. And I think that's why I like to. That's the things I've seen so far. That's what kind of sticks out the most.
What about the rest of the coaching staff?
Yeah, see, I think he was very intentional in how he built it. You know, his coaching, he kind of models what I believe in my heart. Coaches coach coordinators, coordinators coach position coaches coach players. And for him, he's got a staff that it was very intentional. Nobody wants his job. They're fiercely loyal. They understand what the expectation level is. And I think they embody his personality. And even his holdover, the retainer, in Donnie Raiola, is really his alter ego, right? Donnie is the one that is very direct, a little brash, can lack a little feel, if you will. But I think there's a fair amount of times where Coach Rhule would like to be like that. But you can't sometimes as a CEO. You have to be able to sprinkle a little sugar too when you're busy being the enforcer. So I love how intentional he was in putting this staff together. He's got some young, hungry lions. He's got a savvy vet. He's got a go-to man. And he's got a holdover in Donnie Raiola that gives him a common voice and a new guy that gets to be kind of the mouthpiece when it's not cutting time.
Jay, I think a lot of people thought that Nebraska would start a whole bunch of new players because they got transfer portal guys. But actually, it's really only 4 guys, really, in terms of the starters. Jeff Sims, Ben Scott, Chief Borders, Billy Kemp is going to be involved. But what do you think about what they brought in, the new guys?
A lot of good. I mean, very intentional. I think we're going to use that word a lot so far in the first show. But there's a method for the madness. And I've seen that so far, and it's to increase competition, increase depth, get guys with the right mindset, and have the attitude and have a swagger about yourself. Guys who can communicate very well, because I think that's very, very important in this day and age. Young kids don't like to communicate anymore, and I think it's just that's important to him. And but it's interesting you said that, because even new staff, you'd like to bring in your guys, but it shows you though that the guys that were here and are still playing, that are going to obviously start and contribute, that the attitude and mentality is right. Even what they've been through the last 3-4 years is to have that fortitude, that internal fortitude, just be like, you know what, that was that.
Yeah.
This is now. I'm all here for it, because if anyone is going to have any excuses, it's the 4th and 5th year seniors, right? Like, why should I do this? I've been through all this. Like, if they should have any excuses or look for an easy way out, they should, but they don't.
Yeah.
And they stuck with it, and they've committed to it, and they should be commended for that.
I think it's spot on. Nail meet hammer, right? You look at a guy like Luke Reimer. Would have been easy for him to kind of get in his feels a little bit, and a why me kind of guy. And I know for some people it's a natural selection to go to Big Ten Media Days. For me, it was a pleasant surprise, because he's a guy that has Sunday potential that could have gotten into what you're just now describing in terms of a way of doing things, and why me, and maybe get the violin out and woe is me, and he's all in. And when you get a guy like that can be all in as a holdover and model behavior for new guys, you give yourself a chance. It's not guaranteed, but you give yourself a chance.
Before we get to some of the news, what do you guys think about the single-digit numbers? Because it was always special with the black shirts. Offensive folks like, well, what do we get? Now you have a chance to get a single-digit number. What do you think?
It's cool. It's a new tradition, right? I love it, because, I mean, you've seen it. I mean, Quentin Newsome wore number 6 all last year, and even a dude
he had to earn it.
He had to earn it.
Yeah.
He was wearing 15 in camp. He's got the 6 back now. He's a new man, and but I think it's cool. It gives you something to fight for, but also, I know they're having situational captains. You're not every game could be a different person, but also you're recognizing who your dogs are, essentially. Your guys, your team leaders. I think, and it's just there's a reason why there's that single-digit number. It's not because it's my high school number. Oh, I want to look cool out there. But like those are your guys. When times get tough, those single-digit guys are gonna have to step up and provide some leadership.
For me, it breeds optimism. I wanted 3 when I got to college, and instead of having to fight Toby Wright, I would have been able to work my way into getting that number 3, right? My teammates might not have voted for me, but at least I would have had the opportunity I'm all for it. If they like it, I love it.
Yeah. There's been some news during camp, obviously. You know, you have some players leaving and stuff, but now Eric Gilbert gets arrested only a couple days before the game. How do you think that affects the team at all?
Yeah, it's so fresh. Obviously, just coming out today, and it just you don't know what the situation is. Here's out with the NCAA waiver, but this being his third or fourth school, I think there's always a reason why.
Sure.
And I just I don't know the young man at all. I don't know what he's dealing with. But it's tough because you see a guy that has all the talent in the world, and for him to have to do that and obviously make a very poor decision is tough because you hope he's gonna be able to contribute, and I just don't see any way possible that's gonna happen now.
For me, I'm a big body language guy, and I see a lot better than I hear. So I'm watching Coach Rule today, and I know he was brief, but you could tell that there's a backstory there, right? You know, and they talked about having him going through his own personal issues, and he felt like he had a support staff in place, and there was a little bit of hurt, and kind of him telling the story, and for Coach Rule, I think ultimately he just wants his players to trust him, and if they trust him, then I think he thinks that staff and his support staff that he's surrounded himself with give the young men their best chance to grow into good older men. And so I think that's what bugs him probably the most. It's not necessarily the football attributes. I think he firmly believes if you spend enough time around me and our staff, you will be better for it than before when we got you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he tries to embody.
Be a better man. So schedule. We've talked about this a lot. It's been a long time since Nebraska won 3 straight games. 2016, in fact. Early on in the season, you got Colorado, Northern Illinois, Louisiana Tech. Do you feel somewhere this year, this is the year, get 3 in a row again?
I tell you what, if they get through a good start against Minnesota, yes. I think Colorado's very doable. Then obviously you have Northern Illinois and Louisiana Tech after that. The Minnesota game, it's always tough on the road Thursday night, Big Ten, opponent.
Oh, sure.
Winning is a habit, losing is a habit, and this team unfortunately has had losing habits. But hopefully, in the last 6 months, they developed better habits. It's just. This first one it's the key. It's obviously the big, what could be.
They'll have a couple of shots at it.
Yeah, they have another one.
I think they can get Colorado, Northern Illinois, Louisiana Tech.
Yep.
I think they can get Illinois, Northwestern, Purdue. I think they can get Northwestern, Purdue,
Michigan State.
And
You
Michigan
think
State.
they can get Illinois?
Illinois is going to be short rest.
Listen, I love, if anybody likes Illinois, it's me, right?
You like
I love
Bielema.
I love their gap scheme. I think they have the second best defensive line in the conference, if not top 5 in the country. They trail only Michigan in terms of depth and pro guys. No disrespect to the guys in Columbus with Hall Jr. and Tommy Amola, who I think will be fantastic. But I think it's a toss-up. And going to Champaign presents its own challenges, but nothing more difficult than what they'll see going to Minneapolis in a place against a team that has had Nebraska's number. So they'll have multiple cracks at it to get 3 in a row. But you can't get 3 without getting 1.
1, exactly.
So let's start there.
Feel good about the quarterback room? I know we haven't seen a lot of Jeff Sims unless you watch Georgia Tech football, but it also feels like they have some depth behind him.
Yeah, I do. I'm interested to see how he's going to fit into the run game. The QB design, is it more RPO situations? I think Damon will know fairly better than me, but I'm excited to see that whole process happen and the commitment to the run game and utilizing the fullback and how he's able to utilize the weapons he has at tight end. I know the wide receiver room isn't as inviting as last year without Trey Palmer, but that room is with Harburg and Purdy, they're okay. But it's how they're going to utilize him in the run game is going to tell us a lot, I think.
Yeah, I'm right there with Jay. I'm not as enamored. I'm probably a little more skeptical than the general public about the quarterback room. Because Jeff Sims is going to have to be somebody historically he hasn't been.
Sure.
And typically the best indicator of future performance is past performance. So I'm trusting that the staff will put him in better positions to be successful, because I think the adults in the room have to be the adults, right? You can't put people in compromising positions, 3rd and 7s, 3rd and 8s, obvious passing downs. I've watched a ton of Georgia Tech film and studying him. He's never been a guy that's rushed for more than 4.1 a carry a season. And most of his plays in Atlanta came off of scrambles, not designed runs.
Yeah.
So that will be different, and I think repetition will help. Because if you want to get on the perimeter and deal in the option game, it's about decision making. It's not just about raw talent, right? Give, keep, those kinds of things. But I think Nebraska has been super intentional with their quarterback packages, whether it's Sims, whether it's Purdy, whether it's a guy like Harburg who can deal out there on the perimeter. And here's the beautiful thing. With fullback run game now back as a dimension, you can speak to this, Jay, it changes dramatically the way that you can play defense. With a downhill inside presence of a run game, it's not about just space and pace and getting to the edges. Direct flow is hard to handle because that's not how most defenses are built. They don't like when you play 3D in their kitchen, and Nebraska may be able to do that.
Yeah, you got to figure out, are you going to contain or are you going to spill?
Right.
100%. As a defensive end, you got power coming at you. Like you got that full. Like, are you edging you wrong shoulder
And then they may read you.
Right.
Right.
Right. So it's and then you just get the power pass off of that as well. It's a tricky situation for the front seven.
It's two wide receivers and running backs real quick, because the wide receiver room, as you mentioned, there's a lot of names there, but not a lot of catches outside of a guy like Billy Kemp Jr. What do you think about that group?
Yeah, a little concerned, but Marcus Washington has shown some things. I know he's banged up, and supposedly he's going to be good to go for Minnesota. Yep. Billy Kemp at Virginia, did some great things. Obviously losing a guy like Trey Palmer, that's gonna hurt. But I tell you what,
losing bats too.
Yeah, correct. And I'm not as concerned. I'll tell you what, if I'd be more concerned if they had depth issues at the O-line position.
Oh yeah.
If you run the football and you can give the QB time, you can throw to anyone. Corners can't cover forever, and you can get guys open. You just got to be able to make the throws. You got to be able to run the football and protect the QB to make those wide receivers as efficient as possible.
Any of those young guys, the freshmen you see, maybe might jump out?
Yeah, I don't really see it.
Not even Coleman?
I thought Doss was probably the most ready watching tape. Jalen Lloyd has been the most available, and Malachi Coleman may be the most talented. So maybe if you could combine the three, the best ability is availability.
Sure.
And I think Lloyd and Doss have been kind of spearheaded that, but Washington is my favorite. I think he's a tough guy, not a fake tough guy. So getting him back healthy will be key. I like Isaiah. I like IGC. And Bullock is a guy I'm very familiar with.
Yep.
He's put it on us a number of times at the high school level.
Yeah.
He's very athletic. There's no sneaky to it.
Yeah.
He's a two-hand windmill dunker. He can high point a ball. And Kemp is experienced. He's not great yards per reception.
Yeah.
But he's supremely confident. It's almost scary, right? It's almost irrational.
He's a little guy confident. Little guy tough.
How confident Kemp is. So they'll need some of that, but it's only going to be offset by how good I think the tight end room can be.
He gets you 8.9 yards a catch all the time. You're our former running back. Why Gabe Ervin over Anthony Grant?
I think consistency. I may be one of those insecure former running backs that doesn't want the room to be as good as mine. But I'm not as high on the running back room as some in terms of high-end talent. But what I do like is the bottom is really close to the top. I don't know if there's a guy that is, like what I'd say uber talented, like a 10, but they don't have a 2 either. They got a lot of 7s and a lot of 8s. Ervin has a little bit to prove, right? Durability, the ability to run behind his pads. Anthony Grant's got to take better care of the football.
Yeah.
Rahmir Johnson is the most dependable in my opinion. He's a home run threat, but is a little small in stature. And I'm telling you, keep an eye on Emmett Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
He may not be ready to go early, but I think you'll see him in the return game.
Yeah.
And he's a guy that may pay dividends later on. They'll need, if they run the ball like I think they want to, they'll need all 4, and they're all a little bit
He's
different.
explosive. All I want to see is Lieben Tripp play. You know how much I love him.
Yeah, listen.
All I want to see is him play. He kills folks.
He's a real one.
He is. He's a
Barrett
tough guy.
Lieben Tripp is a real dude.
Loved him in high school. Can't wait to see him play here. We've got to look out for more offensive side of the ball, but the defense will be an experience, of course, major changes. We're going to take a close look and understand for you how the 3-3-5 defense and how it will be played out this fall.
The Husker defense will have a whole new look this season with the arrival of defensive coordinator Tony White and his 3-3-5 defense. Since 2017, Nebraska has run some variation of a 3-4 defense. 3-4 defense features 3 defensive linemen and 4 linebackers. With the switch to the 3-3-5 defense, the number of defensive linemen remains the same, but one of the linebackers is taken away to allow 5 defensive backs to cover the spread. The best feature of this scheme is its adaptability, which we saw in action for the first time in the 2023 Red-White Spring Game. Although White's new defense was in full force, hardly any of the plays started with the traditional 3-3-5 setup. Here's Jay Moore to break down some defensive plays from the spring game and to tell us more about how this defense will work in the fall.
All right, let's take a quick look at 3 plays from the spring game. This one comes towards the end of the game, so the situation is a little different. But in this situation, the offense needs to get in the end zone and score some points. So Nebraska, they're going to bring 3-man rush at a 3-man front, and they're going to drop 8. You have 11 on the field, bring 3, you're going to have 8 in coverage. So Nebraska, the offense, is bringing 4 men down the field with the back out late. It's double coverage by everyone. It's going to be a really tough throw for the quarterback to make, especially in a tight red zone situation. So as you can see, we drop 8 in the coverage, really nowhere to go. Middle linebacker does a great job of making the interception, and that just wraps up the end of the spring game. So as we look into the next play, a very different situation. It is 1st and 10. You don't know if the offense is going to throw or run it. So as you look here, we have 6 guys showing up around the line of scrimmage. Nebraska has 5 guys on the offensive line, a back in there to help protect. So it's a 6-on-6 situation. But as we hit play, the back heads out into the flat. Now it's a 6-on-5 situation. Someone's coming free out of those 6 guys on the defense. But as you see, the offensive line does a good job of protecting inside out. The edge guys are going to come free. But on the back end now, when you're bringing 6, you're going to have a man-to-man situation, especially if you have 5 guys in the route. So on the back end, they do a good job. Maverick Noonan comes free on the back end, gets to the quarterback, makes a sack. So it's just 2 different scenarios where you rush 3, and then you bring 6, and you kind of cause some chaos, right? So last play, as we look here, they're showing 6 guys up front. But in the situation here, it's 3rd and long, obvious passing situation. So if the quarterback's smart in this situation, he knows majority of these guys are probably dropping, right? So as we look, we got a 3-man rush. We have the 3 guys dropping back, getting into coverage, helping out the back end. The defensive lineman just got to do as best they can to rush the passer in a 3-on-5 situation. So the DB needs to get the pick there, but again, it's a basic look to the 3-3-5 defense so far in what we've seen in the spring game with Tony White.
With a completely new staff, Husker fans will have a lot to look out for in the fall. And a lot of attention will go towards the execution of this defense and how it pans out in the Big Ten.
We appreciate Jay giving us that breakdown. Let's talk a little bit more about this defense. What's the concern on your part of a Minnesota with giant offensive line or an Iowa team that wants to run a Michigan when you're not huge up front and you got 3 down linemen?
Yeah, obviously in the 3-3-5, the idea is to create chaos, is to create, you just don't know who's going where.
Yep.
And I like that aspect, but also being a guy that knows situational defensive football, you better know where you need to be at all times. And you better be able to trust the other 10 guys that knows where they need to be too. And you have guys that are, you have offenses in this league where they're downhill and they're putting guys in the first round or, NFL draft picks on the offensive line. You better have guys that understand where they need to be every down. And that's the only concern I have is just when you get so multiple and you have so many different looks, what is your base? What do you go back to when things kind of hit the fan? You know what I'm saying? So that's my really only concern is just things can get too out of control. That's can they kind of hunker down, hitch their wagon to something and say, okay, this is who we are. This is what we're going to be, and we're going to play like this. But I'm just a little too concerned that things can get out of control within the 3-3-5.
Brian Urlacher came out of this defense in New Mexico. He was the star. Who's the guy who's going to be our star in this 3-3-5?
Well, there's a couple of good candidates. I think it's now or never for Luke Reimer. He will be freed up to make some plays. I also like a guy like Chief Borders. That jack position is loaded.
Oh, yeah.
I think if if Jamari Butler was healthy, he'd probably be your starter. But you have guys like Chief Borders, Jamari Butler, MJ Sherman, right? That's good depth at that jack spot. You look around at the other side, kind of that open side. I like a guy to be able to get down in the box like Gifford.
He might lead him in tackles.
Listen, he's one of my favorites primarily because he believes that he's the man. He's very smart. He's a sure tackler. There's two things that Tony White asks in this defense, and they're two T words that you'd love. You got to be able to tackle, and you have to be tough. And you can chicken or egg the other thing, which one is more important or comes first. But with that back five and their versatility to be able to get down into the box with so many man concepts that they play on defense, if that back five can tackle, look for Reimer and Bullock to flourish.
Yeah, I can see that. But I think Isaac Gifford might lead them in tackles.
Listen, he is an absolute fearless man.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Next up on the show, we have an exclusive interview with first-year Nebraska head football coach Matt Rhule. But first, let's hear from the players, coaches leading up to the game, and catch up some sights as well from Huskers fall practices, courtesy of Hurrdat Sports. Stay with us. We're back soon.
I'm confident that we're going to play hard. I'm confident that we're going to be a physical team. I'm confident that if things don't go well early, that we're not going to panic. I'm confident that if things do go well early, we're not going to celebrate. You know what I mean? Like I think our guys understand that this is a 60-minute game and this is a 12-game season. And I'm confident we'll have fun together.
Yeah, it was just what we thought the 11 that we are anticipating going out there and starting. Didn't want to try to give out more or less, just say the 11 guys we anticipate starting. It's hanging up in those guys' locker and kind of go from there.
We want our guys to always understand when we talk about the past here that there's a legacy that we have to learn from, and then there's a legacy that we have to leave going beyond us. And so whoever's going to step up and be a starter for us on defense will wear the black shirt that week, and they have to play to that standard if they want to start for us. Yeah, we're not going to fair catch any kickoff returns. We don't believe in it. I don't believe in it. We're going to, if we might let it land in the end zone. But the game was meant to be played, so we're going to play.
We just got to be disciplined. They live in the first, second down, knowing that they're going to get that third and short. So we just got to be disciplined in what we do and stop the run as best we can.
First game is really important to me, obviously. It's this game, how we play to the end of the year. We want to be a team that gets better every game, gets better every drive, gets better through the season. So this is a great day for us. It's the great first step on an amazing journey.
They shaved.
Welcome back to Big Red Wrap Up. We are joined by the 31st head football coach at the University of Nebraska, Matt Rhule. Coach, we appreciate you taking the time.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You've been through this a lot, and as we're taping this, you're about 10 days away from the game. Has camp gone like you thought it would? Had you planned? How's it been?
It's been great. It's probably gone better than I thought. You know, everything from moving into the dorms to some of the activities. We've had a lot of fun, and you know, it's been good for me, like, to see we've been really physical, practiced really hard, yet we're coming out really healthy, and so it shows that they did a great job in the summer with Corey and the strength staff.
How's that balance been? Because you started long enough ago where you could hit every day almost. How's that been working around the NCAA rules?
It's tough. They've changed them since I was last year. You know, you can only be in full pads 8 times before the first game. I don't believe in it. I think it's wrong. I don't think you have a chance to really callous your body. But, you know, they let you have helmets and shoulder pads. And our guys do a great job of being physical while still staying off the ground. And so I've been pleased with our guys. They really believe in practice. They believe in, you know, our message is simple. You know, you're trying to master your craft. The only way to do that is to practice. And so they've really taken to it. And as a result, because everyone's going at the same speed, we've come out pretty healthy.
Obviously, the close losses over the last few years is something that people talk about a lot. Is there a secret sauce that you've discovered over your years for winning those one-score games?
You know, I think you first have to learn how to win. I think really at first you have to learn how not to lose, eliminate losing football. Then you start playing good football and you learn how to win. And then eventually there's a third stage of like playing championship football. And, you know, those games come down to, you know, a 2-minute drive or a last play or a great sack to end the game. And so, you know, we're learning how to eliminate losing football and how to play really good football. And I believe it comes down, it's everything. It's the way we travel. It's being on time to study hall. It's being hydrated. All the little things that don't seem important actually really are. And so the guys have bought into them. Even when they haven't understood it, they've bought into it. And I see us making huge strides. So I hope it happens this year. I hope this is the year that we have a lead and finish the game. I hope this is the year that maybe we're behind and come back and win. But it'll definitely happen.
You are a no stone unturned kind of guy. I can tell how, even when you were talking about the practice field and saying, you know, you wait a few days for it to settle. Is that based on your years of coaching or coaches you had that you worked for that you are so into the details?
You know, Dr. Susan Elza, who's our chief of staff, she told me that one day, she said, "You're the most particular guy I've ever met in my life." I said, "I don't know if that's a compliment." But I think, you know, if we say we're going to do something a certain way, we should probably just do it that way. And, you know, I want to be intentional. I want our staff to be intentional. So we think about everything. We don't want to just, you know, just fly by the seat of our pants.
Sure. So
I think I learned a lot of that from Joe Paterno. I mean, Coach was very much that way. Like, he would stand up in front of us and, you know, the year was whatever it was. How old am I? 1995, 1994, 1996. And he'd be reading off practice schedules from like 1982.
Right.
You know, hey, so we did 6 minutes of this, 5. But he was so intentional about everything we did. You recognize that there was a purpose to it. I worked for Tom Coughlin, who was as particular and, you know, strict. And I saw from both those men, we're both Hall of Famers, say something, plan it out, and then do it, and be unwavering. And so I'm trying to do the same thing as best I can.
You were only on the job for about a month when you went out and got Jeff Sims out of the portal. What was it about him that you saw on tape at Georgia Tech or talking to him? What did you see in him?
Well, you know, I've watched Jeff for several years. You know, the head coach at Georgia Tech was a great friend of mine. So I watched a lot of games, and I think he has elite potential. He's got a ton of talent. And I like who he is as a person. You know, when, you know, Jeff was fired, you know, the head coach at Georgia Tech was fired about the same time I was out, and so we talked a lot. And he really believed in Jeff. Getting to know Jeff and talk to him, you could see the personality, you could see the traits, you could see all the things that are going to make him a great leader. And you know, we were lucky that he chose us. He had a lot of options, but he chose to come to the University of Nebraska, and I'm grateful that he did. I think he's going to be a really good player for us.
Out of all the things that are coming out of this camp, wide receiver injuries and obviously losing a body as well, how is that coming about? And is there a number that you want to have where you can say, I got 5 guys I can count on or 6 guys I can count on?
Well, I've always wanted to have five receivers, you know, that can all go in the game, you know, without a drop off. And you know, obviously losing Xavier was difficult. It was tough, you know, A for us and then B for him. Losing Marcus Washington early with an injury, you know, but he's played a lot of football. Whenever he gets back, I'm not too worried about Marcus, you know, getting his legs back underneath him. You know, he's played a lot of football. He had a really good summer, had a really good camp till he got hurt. In a couple of days he did practice. He's a vet. He'll be back. if we can get to 5 guys, then great, and I think, what we do have is we have a bunch of freshmen that are really talented. And I'm not afraid to play freshmen. In the recruiting process, I tell them all, you're going to get a chance to play. So, we're working overtime to get them ready to go. But I like that room. We've got competitors. We have tough guys. We have guys who can get open. We'll just bring the freshmen along with them.
Yeah, you mentioned freshmen, and you also mentioned that you need veterans to win in the Big Ten. Is there a position that you feel more comfortable playing a freshman?
That's a great question. I think it really comes down to each individual person. I started a freshman quarterback at Temple my first year. I started a freshman quarterback at Baylor. After about game 4, I put both those guys in, and they started every game for me till I left. So, that's a really good question. I think probably. I don't really want to play a ton of freshman offensive linemen.
Sure.
In the back end, the athletic positions, the running positions. When you're a freshman, your body might not be as built up, but at receiver, at running back, at DB, if you can run, you can run. And so we were fortunate, though, that a lot of guys came mid-year. So like Cam Lenhard, Prince Will, those guys are all going to play. They're ready to play. They did our match drills. They did our off-season. They're almost like sophomores, even though they're actually only freshmen.
We think as football fans, we know what's happening on an offensive line, and I know we don't. Tell me what you saw from these guys, or a lot of them returning, that you say this offensive line will be better, or it'll be good. It'll serve it like you want it to be.
Yeah, I think our offensive line is going to play well. I mean, they function as a group. They work as a group. We have a commitment. The way that we try to run the program is we do a lot of good on good, ones on ones, and the thought process of that is when you get to the game. If you've had to pass protect against Ty Robinson all week, if you've had to, zone block Nash Hutchmacher all week, you hope that when you get to the game, you're prepared. You're hoping that our guys on defense are better than the guys you're playing against or at the same level. So I like where our group's at. They're tough. They're physical. We took the knee braces off them. We kind of changed a little bit in terms of the way that we train them. Donnie's in year 2 with them. I think Donnie's as good an O-line coach as I've ever been around. So I'm excited for the guys. And then the system that Sat has, we don't want to be flashy. Marcus isn't trying to set any records, for yardage. We want to win games. And so we'll play to their strengths. And I think as the year goes on, we'll adapt a little bit when we play some games, see what we're really good at, and then stick with it.
Do you have a philosophy in terms of rotating at all in the offensive line? Like, do you pick 5 guys and they go the whole game, or do you try to bring younger guys in and work them in?
Yeah, when we love to have 7 guys that can go in the game, and if we can play all 7, that's great. It gives guys a chance, especially early in the year to get their feet underneath them. Lets you play guys that are fresh, and also at the same time when a guy gets banged up in the middle of the year, which usually happens, someone's not going in, at crunch time for the first time. So we'd love to play 7 guys. But they all have to be above the line. They've all got to be good enough. And I think we have 6 or 7, 8 guys that we feel good about going into the game and playing. So we're right there. So I think you could see us rotate some. A lot will happen in the next 10 days that'll make some of those decisions easier to make.
I have a real appreciation for the 3-3-5 because I was working in New Mexico. Rocky Long was there. Bronco Mendenhall was there. We got a chance to go watch practice. The concern fans have, though, is the Big Ten, big offensive linemen. They're going to try to run the ball down your throat. How do you deal with that in a 3-3-5?
We were last in the league in run defense last year, playing a different defense.
Right.
I don't think it's really the scheme. I think it's how you do things. I'll always believe that, right? Like we were a top 25 defense at Temple 3 out of the 4 years, and we played a 4-3. We went to Baylor. We switched to a 3 down front like this. We were one of the top defenses in the nation our last year. Went to the NFL. We went to more of a 5 down approach. I don't think it's as much to me about what we do, it's how we do it. Can we get off blocks? Can we tackle? Do we run to the ball? Do we affect the quarterback? Do we punch the ball out? I love the versatility of Tony's scheme. It's fun. It's aggressive. It's difficult to block. I'm not an offensive head coach. I'm not a defensive head coach. I'm kind of right there in the middle. And seeing it from an offensive perspective, how hard it is to deal with, I think it's pretty good. Teams are going to line up. They're going to try to bully us. They're going to try to knock us off the ball. And I say that sincerely about what happened last year. We can't be at the University of Nebraska and be last in the Big Ten in terms of rush defense. We've got to be up near the top. And I don't care. Whatever we have to do that, we'll do.
Yeah, in terms of you meant getting after the passer, how does a 3-3-5 help you with that? Because you notice that there's 5 guys at the line of scrimmage. Any of them could be coming at any time. How does that help you in getting the passer?
Yeah, I think when you go to an odd front, when you're in 3 down or you're in 4 down, the offense has to really be on the same page. You know, you basically have 3 known rushers, and now you're trying to identify, hey, who's the 4th, who's the 5th. When you're a 4-down team, which I've been many years, you know, hey, here's the 4 guys, we got to block these 4. So through disguise, through multiple looks, you know, we're trying to create mismatches, we're trying to create confusion. We're always hoping that maybe they'll turn a guy loose, or we can get one of our best rushers on the running back or on the worst offensive lineman. So to me, it's kind of a chess match. And the great thing is Tony's not inventing this defense for the first time. He's been calling it. He's been running it. He knows how to adjust it. And I've had a lot of fun watching him do that so far.
I'm mostly intrigued by finishing drive rate. It's my favorite analytic. It really tells you who's going to win games, and it's based on red zone offense, right? Can you kind of give us a philosophy on coaching red zone offense?
Yeah, you know, we want to score a touchdown about 70% of the time that we're in the red zone. It's really hard to do. You know, we don't pay attention to red zone scoring percentage. For us, it's all about red zone touchdowns. We don't, you know, we think on defense a field goal is a takeaway. It's a turnover. If they kick a field goal, we don't pay attention to it. On offense, we'll take field goals, but we're not super excited about them until the 4th quarter when it matters. So, you know, I think every game's a little different. Some games you're trying to collect points on offense. Some games you're going for it on 4th down. You have to kind of take each game based upon what you think the outcome is going to be a little bit differently. But, you know, we want to be able to run the ball in the red zone. It's one thing to run the ball up the field, that's great, but you have to be able to run the ball when it counts down in the red zone. You have to have red zone threats, guys that you can create one-on-ones with who can win. And I think the quarterback running the ball in the red zones are a really key factor. It's one thing to run them up the field, that's great.
Yeah.
But you get down there, points matter, and running the quarterback can really help you.
I have 2 sons. I don't know if I could leave one behind, even with our grandparents. How are you dealing with first being away from your family and now having your son finish his senior year away from you?
Yeah, thank you for asking me that. My wife and daughters got here last Monday.
Yeah.
And I have a tradition every year. Whenever my daughters show up from camp, I give everyone off the rest of the day. And so the guys are pretty fired up. But we moved into our house, and really happy to have them here. You know, that balance, that, you know, I love them, obviously. And so having them here is great after a long time apart.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, you know, Bryant was here for 2 weeks. He was in the dorms. He was one of those guys pranking the coaches and doing all things. I mean, it was really cool. I'm really grateful to our players, the way they kind of took him in as one of their own. It's what makes this group special. So I hate that he won't be around. You know, I hate that he won't be at the first game.
Yeah.
He hasn't missed a lot of games over the years, but I'm proud of him. As I told him, you know, you're a man now. You know, go do your own laundry. Go learn what it takes to live on your own. And you know, Julie and I just have to trust that we did the right things over the last years. And I hate that I'm not with him, but I appreciate and I love him for the fact that he let me come do this.
I'll give you a couple of rapid fire questions. Runza or chili and cinnamon rolls if you had to pick just one?
Oof. Gosh. Chili and cinnamon rolls. Sorry, Runza.
That's okay. T-bone, ribeye, New York strip, or a different cut? Doesn't matter?
New York strip every time.
New York strip, really?
Yeah, controversial, but yes, true.
Well, it's an Italian one, right? I mean, we have a lot of Italian steakhouses in Omaha for that. And then you only have 2 choices, rare or medium rare.
Oh, well, I'll say this, probably rare, but I always say as the chef decides. I love when if the chef thinks it should be medium rare. I believe chefs are artists, so I let them do their thing.
Yeah. We saw you go to SmackDown and you did the Kenny Chesney concerts. Which one, if you had to choose between one, going to big wrestling or going to Kenny Chesney?
I loved them both, but I'd go with Kenny Chesney. I thought no one performs like he performs.
Yeah. This one is important to me as I grew up a Penn State fan. So, 86 or 94, better team?
Wow, that's a great question. Man. 86 obviously was my favorite team because I was young
That
and a
defense.
diehard Penn State. Shane Collin, you know, Giftopoulos, Trey Bauer.
Yep.
But yeah, it's 86.
Yeah, it's. I always look back. We have an argument here at 94 because of Nebraska.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
Penn State. So yeah, that's my favorite team as well. Coach, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck this season.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for taking the time.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Big Red Wrap Up. Hannah, we can't hear Daniel. Hey, Daniel, can you hear us okay?
You guys.
Okay, great. We're about to come back on. Thank you. Appreciate you taking a couple minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. Thanks, Daniel. Welcome back to Big Red Wrap-Up. I'm Michael Severe, joined by Sean Callahan. Time to talk some Cruton. This is a big old class for 2024.
Yeah, I don't think, we've been doing this show now 20 years with you guys, Michael, and I don't know if I've ever seen this many commits this early for Nebraska. Huskers with 24.
Wow.
And, it came in waves. There was a couple early guys, a couple spring guys, then just a boatload of guys over the summer between the official visits and the camps. You look at Carter Nelson, obviously the top player in Nebraska. Daniel Kaelin, we're going to talk to. Just a deep list. Really like Kewan Lacey.
I watched some of his tape. He could play.
And he's solid. Keelan Smith out of Kansas City, the son of Will Smith. Evan Taylor, you see the name there. He was hurt this week, out for the season.
Yeah.
That's notable right now. And then just some really good camp offers. Donovan Jones, Rex Guthrie. That's a guy out of Colorado they feel like is a steal in this class. Quinn Clark, son of Omaha Bryan product, Ken Clark, Husker running back. It's a really Camden Cook, son of Sam Cook, former Husker punter. So at this point, with 24 guys, I mean,
how old do you feel that Sam Cook's got a kid? I mean, he just felt like he was at Nebraska.
I was at the Alamo in 05. He was carrying that kid.
Yeah,
I was like,
incredible.
I saw you walking across the street on the Riverwalk with your dad.
Let's talk about Connor Booth, the newest commit.
Yeah, the newest commit, Connor Booth, Wahoo Newman, two-sport guy. He can play baseball for Nebraska.
Yeah.
Football.
He's going to stick to football, though, right?
Stick to football with the door open to maybe do baseball if he wants. As you know, that's extremely difficult to do at this level. But Connor Booth coming in as a running back type athlete, came to camp, ran very well, and Matt Rule sent a lot of messages. If you come to camp, you work out, you run well, you do well, you'll get an offer. And he was one of those guys that we saw get an offer.
Let's go to the phone. The starting quarterback, of course, for Bellevue West, Daniel Kaelin, joining us here. Daniel, how you feeling?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well. I know you want to win them all. Tough game last week for you guys. How are you kind of bouncing back from that in practice?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. Obviously, it was a tough one, but, you can only move on to the next game and the next day. So the focus for us this week is just to, like you said, focus this week in practice, make sure we're stacking days on days, and even get a little extra work in with the receivers on the side just to start getting that chemistry going.
Yeah, Daniel, how important is it you guys just kind of hone in and focus? I mean, just all the attention, all the headlines you guys got this summer, probably a lot of pressure as a team to kind of live up to that. But after a game like last week, how do you guys kind of bounce back and just play football?
Yeah, I think like you said, it's just playing football. We can't let the outside noise affect us. And like I said before, our focus this week is to make sure we just keep stacking good days on good days. And we believe over time that's gonna definitely pay off for us.
Daniel Kaelin joining us. Daniel, personally, do you feel the pressure of being a team that was talked about a lot during the offseason, of course, being a Nebraska commit?
I mean, I think pressure comes with it, but I just think overall it's something you have to invite, and the pressure's only going to grow more and more as time goes on. So I think, there's times where I feel it, but I definitely, can't let it affect me. And we have guys on our team that also, have some pressure on them. But like I said, we just got to keep our head down, keep working. And, we know we have the talent. We just got to start getting things together.
Daniel, Nebraska will open the season Thursday night against Minnesota. Will you and your guys get together and watch Matt Rule and the Huskers in game one?
Yeah, we'll have team dinner Thursday. So I don't know what it looked like of necessarily who I'll watch it with, but definitely we'll be tuned in. Super excited to, kind of just see how the team starts the season. A lot of anticipation for that game, of course, with the new staff in. So excited to watch. Might not stay up for the whole game because I got to get a good night's sleep before taking on Burke Friday, but I'm definitely excited for that one.
Daniel, we appreciate it. Good luck this week and the rest of the season.
Yep, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, let's talk in-state. Tyson Terry, a guy who I saw as a freshman, I thought he was a grown man. He's a big fella.
Yeah, you look at Tyson Terry, he's got a chance to be the only four-time heavyweight champion in Class A history. Won it as a freshman, sophomore, just a junior. but just a grown man.
Yeah, he
When
is.
you look at him at 6'4", 275, the physicality he plays with, the edge he plays with, the Terry family, very well known in North Omaha. They're guys you don't want to get into a scuffle with because every one of them's tough.
Yeah.
And Tyson's the same way, and also a great student in the classroom, but has been starting at North High at the Class A level for a very good program since freshman year.
Yeah, pretty cool. Sean, we appreciate it. Be sure to vote on this week's Sideline Survey question. What are you looking forward to the most this season? You see the questions there. New coaching staff, transfer portal additions, 3-3-5 defense, freshman talent, or possible winning record. Make sure you visit the Wrap Up website and cast your vote. Also, our game day photo contest is back this year. We want to see how you spend your game days. Send us your best game day picks for chances to win great prizes throughout the season and to see your photo on that week's show. There are a lot of photo opportunities for all of you who are willing to make your way to Minnesota this week, so be sure to share your photos with us. We look forward to seeing them, of course. All right, let's talk some Minnesota. We were talking a little bit earlier before the show started. They got some young running backs, a transfer running back, but they're pretty good at wide receiver, along with the quarterback returning from last year. What do you think of Minnesota?
Yeah, I think they're dynamic outside the numbers. When Ottman Bell is probably your third or fourth option outside the numbers, you've acquired yourself quite a bit of depth at the wide receiver spot. And I'm kind of hoping, as a Nebraska fan, that they have a little bit of an identity crisis, right? With the young, inexperienced backs and three new offensive linemen. Your three best players, again, belong outside the numbers, and your best offensive player in total is your quarterback. So I hope that they throw the ball a little bit more than they normally would, and they take some time getting accustomed to it, whether it's Brevin Spanford or Jackson Jr. or a host of guys that they've got. I just think it plays to Nebraska's strengths, and anything beats ground and pound, at least early on in the season for me.
Yeah, they got 5 new guys that are going to be in the starting lineup for the most part as their skill positions. This is a team where the same guys were on forever, right? Mo Abraham was the guy forever. Morgan was the guy forever. Now they have all these new guys, so Nebraska's got to obviously get ready for them as well.
Yeah, and I think you look back in history, PJ Fleck in this offense, you know what they want to do. They want to own time of possession. They want to be able to run the football. But like as Damon said, that might not be their strength anymore. Yeah. You got to play to your strengths. You got to identify what is going to make your team the most successful. Are they able to run the football? You hope. As I'm speaking it from Minnesota's perspective, you hope. But heck, what if you can't? And you got to rely on those wide receivers. You got to rely on the athleticism of your QB. You got to run your QB more in some design run games. You didn't see that a whole lot with Tanner Morgan. He was more of a pocket guy. So it's going to be interesting to see. And just historically, Minnesota has struggled early on in the season. They've been upset against some lesser opponents, and I know it's going to be interesting to see just who Minnesota is. You'd like to think Minnesota and PJ Fleck know who they are in game one, but as we just alluded to, I don't think they know who they are quite yet, just because they don't have Mo Ibrahim back there. You got new faces of the offensive line. The defense is vastly different as well heading this year too. So I think it's going to be fun to see the early on kind of the cat and mouse with Nebraska. Obviously, we don't even know exactly what it's going to look like, but Minnesota may not obviously know what they're going to look like either.
Kind of a sellout, right? It's supposed to be a gold out, sold out, but not quite sure about that?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of red in that stadium, and we've seen that. I mean, every time Nebraska's played at Minnesota, there's been 15,000 Nebraska fans there, but you kind of question, are they kind of slowly releasing tickets on the secondary market because the way to control the prices? Students move in this week. I think it's going to be pretty much full. I don't know. We'll see but they've done a good job of controlling the supply and demand release of tickets because they're very expensive still to buy. I mean, the prices have started to come down a little bit. But they're calling it a, quote, sellout. And Colorado's doing the same thing. They called it a sellout pretty quick, but you see a lot of tickets hitting that secondary market.
Real quick, Fleck talked about seeing ghost in terms of that 3-3-5, not know where guys are coming from. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so you have to go to your base rules, right? Because you're going to see a lot of pre-snap movement. And so you go back to basics, even, odd, covered, uncovered, right? And being able to just do your fundamentals. When he says seeing ghosts, don't invent things that aren't there. What are my base rules? What are my key reads? And I think that's what he's hoping his team can pull off.
Last thing before we get to burning questions. You look at this defense and how good they were last year. Do you think that they'll be able to slow down Nebraska? Or do you think Nebraska have success?
No, I think Nebraska will have success. I do. I think they're going to have their opportunities, and I think they're going to have their opportunities throughout the year. I truly do that. There's enough talent on both sides of this ball that I think Nebraska's going to have plenty of opportunities.
All right, let's go to burning questions. Who's supposed to go first? I'm not sure. I'm not going first. I know that. How about Sean? You want Sean to go first? I think Sean should go first with burning question. That's what I think. Let's go with Sean.
All right, my burning question. Will we see a push from this offensive line? Will we see that push early? Just the improvements. What will this line look like here in a season opener?
Can Nebraska get this to a 4-quarter game where it's one possession? It's all Coach Rule has talked about. I think in an ideal situation, a dream scenario would be for him to be able to implement this 4-minute offense. They've worked it like crazy all offseason.
Yeah.
They expect this to be a 4-quarter fight. Can they get this to a one-possession game in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, Jay.
Yeah, being a defensive-minded guy, I'm actually interested to see how Jeff Sims fits in the QB run game. I want to see how they utilize him.
Smart man.
Be like Iowa. PJ Fleck hasn't beaten Iowa in 6 tries. You know why? Because special teams is good. They don't turn the ball over and they win close games. Be like Iowa. Can they do that? Nebraska wins. Don't forget to head over to our website and Facebook pages and click on the prediction. Jay, Damon, and I will tell you exactly what to expect on Thursday night. Nebraska kicks off the 2023 season with the Week 1 matchup against Minnesota. You can catch kickoff 7 p.m. Central on Fox. Next Tuesday, we'll be back in game breakdown mode to recap the game with our special guest, Kevin Kugler. What? Football isn't the only sport you'll see covered on Nebraska either. Nebraska Public Media, of course, will have tomorrow tune in the coverage of Volleyball Day in Nebraska as we broadcast the first match between UNK and Wayne State at 4:30. Then check out the rebroadcast of Nebraska versus Omaha, that volleyball match, Friday at 8 p.m. Central. Our thanks, of course, to Sean Callahan, Daniel Kaline, and Nebraska Public Media sports intern, and Hannah, of course, as well, for helping us out as producer. For Jay Moore and Damon Benning, I'm Michael Severe. We'll see you next week on Big Red Wrap-Up.